Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of Aurora C# 2.1 as Empire of Space Japan. We're going to be continuing where we last left off and playing in our game as we did discover Terra Nova in the system of Minerva. But before we get to that and before we explore the system, I do want to state that you can like, comment and subscribe, and it really does help me out. And consider becoming a YouTube member, hit the join button and provide some support to me to make sure that I can keep making this content for you guys on a consistent basis, which is what I'm trying to do. Alright, so where were we? Well, we discovered the system of Minerva, and in Minerva we had Terra Nova, our newly named planet. This planet was of significant value. It's large, it can support 24 billion people, which is double that of Earth. It's got a diameter of 21,000 kilometers, and it is got a habitability range that, fairly speaking, for humans is good. We just have to sort out the sulfur dioxide as well as the oxygen overpressure. It's got a fairly stable orbit as well, and as such will be able to stay within that orbit fairly easily, though obviously there will be some season changes, though nothing of significant value. We did scout out and find that it had no aliens on it, which is what we are most excited about. However, of course, we are dealing with moving over to Minerva, Talos, all these areas, and we're going to have to start stabilizing and preparing ourselves. Including that, if we go into Talos, which is the other system we discovered last episode, Talos is a quaternary star system. And we're going to need to set up a Lagrange point over here to be able to ensure that we are capable of transiting between each area. So we're going to need a tanker, we're going to need a stabilization group to do so. And this is what we're doing over here. Because this system, Talos B, has access to a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere world, which has potentially some significantly decent capabilities in terms of minerals, in terms of other stuff, and we'll have to survey it and see what we can find. All right, so as part of this, what we're going to do, is begin looking at our defensive situation, because as we hit, and we're kind of on a clock, we've discovered 8 systems, including Sol. Once we get to 10, raiders will spawn, and we need to be in a position to defend our systems. We have ground forces at every single military outpost, Arrakis, Kareem, and Luthien. However, we do not have fighter bases at all of these outposts. Nerox is going to need to be one of them, so I'm immediately going to order up, already have done, is 5 maintenance facilities to be sent. We have not added a supply for that yet, and we're going to begin to supply Luthien with a fighter base as well. I also want to begin moving over our carrier escorts, our escort carriers, back and forth. So what we will do is I'm going to set up the Northumberland. You can have standing orders, and you're going to say that if your fuel, if your deployment is exceeded, you are going to refuel, resupply, and overhaul. If your fuel is less than 30%, you're going to refuel at a colony. And what you're going to do, actually fuel less than 20%, because we've got so much fuel. The range on these classes is pretty big, 175 billion kilometers. What we're going to do is we're going to have you go all the way over to Nerox. Now, Nerox is all the way over here, so through our 3 primary systems we've colonized, and you're then going to head back so you're going to head through those jump points. You're going to head to Luthien, then you're going to head back to Zitomir. You're going to refuel from Arrakis to any lost fuel that we've had. And then you're going to head back to Sol, and you're going to refuel accordingly as well. And we're going to cycle these move orders so that you will act essentially for the next however long time. So it takes about 200 so days to do this transit, so they can do this multiple times. You will act and be on patrol through the system. So they will take their route through Alpha. So they will come through Sol. They will then head over to Zitomir. They will head over to Zitomir. They will then come through to Nerox. They'll head from Alpha all the way to Nerox, like these freighters are doing, so they will protect those freighters. And then they will head over to Nerox itself, directly over to the planet, as needed, and protect the colony there. Nerox, obviously, we do have Luthian, which is the population on Nerox 1. I am going to need to get that naming convention up as well, so just give me a second to grab that. I'm back. We're back. Everyone's back. And we can continue. I do have the naming situation sorted out. We do have a shipyard fleet situation. We have 3 ankings. Oh, I guess we already assigned those. Let's begin incrementing along here and see what we can find. Transport fleet did complete their orders, which is good. We're going to do 1-day increments here. One thing that I do want to check actually is our survey ships. Okay, you guys are surveying all over the place right now. As we can see here with the jellyfish is surveying in the Nerox system. Ahab constructed and assigned. And then the Great White's going to move off. Tanker fleet has completed orders. Yeah, Tanker Fleet 2, if I remember you correctly, you were going to be refueling from Alpha fuel harvesters, if I remember myself. So what you're going to do is you're going to refuel from stationary tankers every year. So that's about a year, 358 days. And then if I look at, we're trying to get a refueling station moved out there, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we are. We are trying to do that. We are going to have you transfer that fuel. For now, we're going to have you transfer that fuel over to Arrakis. And we will cycle those orders accordingly. All right, let's continue incrementing along here. Let's go with a new jump point in Nerox. Very interesting. So far, I've had pretty much a straight line of our jump points. Which is quite unusual. The Great White is now got no orders in Zitomir. The other thing is, because we're maintenance facilities like this, we can refuel, resupply, and overhaul in these areas. Though, of course, because of the size of the vessel, it's not really as possible as you would think. We're going to head back over to Nerox. We're going to head over to Talos, and then we're going to head over to Minerva and get back to surveying that area. Okay, and we just finished up training 2 more infantry battalions. Do we have the ability to train another one up? No, we do not. Because of our ground unit training, we need a lot more regimental headquarters to be built, which is what I'm going to do. We'll have another one done shortly, and then we can ship that out to where we need to go. Turret tracking speed, they just finished up in research. I'm going to then order up construction and production, because we do now have a scientist there. We're going to order up a guy to begin research into research rate. And let's keep incrementing along here. We're gravitationally surveying, the Great White's heading off. How is the situation over in Talos doing? Because we were, as we talked about, stabilizing. 60 more days for that stabilization to finish out. The Halibut has finished up its, yeah, that's going to need to hold there and overhaul. So we're going to just have you begin your overhaul over on Earth. But yeah, we'll stabilize this up and then we'll head over to Nerox. But to do that, I am going to need to, and we did just finish up jump drive. I'm going to dedicate labs now to trying to go for the next engine technology, which will be Ion. But I'm going to need a tanker that will be free for us to use. So this tanker will take you. I'll put you into logistics command, and I'm going to then order you to refuel from colony. You're going to head over to Nerox. You're going to head over to the Talos jump point, and you will provide that extension in range that we will obviously need to move our stabilization vessel all the way over to that new lag range point. We are beginning training of Regimental HQ, which is good news. Regimental HQ just finished up training. I'm then going to order up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more infantry battalions to be trained up. And we're going to assign our new regimental infantry regiment. So there we go. That's our new infantry regiment. We're going to rename you to the, what would that be then? That would be the 3rd, 4th. I believe that would be 7th, 8th. Yeah, the 8th. So this will be the 9th. So 9th Infantry Regiment. And we can begin moving these guys to wherever we need. So that's another 25,000 tons already to move out as required. Something else that I'm actually going to do, however, is I'm going to create another formation, and that formation's purpose is going to just be for reserve building. So we're going to create something called infantry reserve. I'm going to do HQ. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put in essentially everything that we will need for one of these. So we're just going to put an infantry battalion in. So 629, 629. We'll need 75 LAV. 75 LAV, and then a kernel, of course. And you may be asking, well, you just made this information. No, yes, I have, but it's now differentiated. And what I want to do is I want to train up the reserve, and these will go directly in to our war stock to build up our war stock as we expand our military forces. All right, we have stabilized. We're going to wait now for the tanker to come over, which it should do, which it should be able to do. If I have a look over our tanker, you're currently in the Zitomir system. You're waiting to transit over to Nerox. There it is. Okay, we're going to have you head over into the Talos. There we go. We're going to have our jump stabilization group, and that is jump stabilization 1. We're going to have you begin your refueling. So you have a range of 440 days or 56 billion kilometers. We are going to refuel from stationary tankers, and this tanker has 4.4 million liters of fuel on it, and it goes that fast. So what we will do is we will pair you both up once that refueling process is done. Okay, so that is done. So 100%. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to have you join this fleet. And I'm also going to set up that you will refuel your own fleet accordingly. There we go. And I'm going to have you head towards, so what are the planet specifically? Talos B. Yeah, so we said to Talos B, okay. What gas giant is available in Talos B? So the first planet is a gas giant. That works for me. So we're going to head to Talos B1. I'm going to stabilize that lag range point. That's going to take us 2 years to reach that point. But that should they should refuel each other as they transit, which is what we want, ideally speaking anyway. Let's head back over to the system of Minerva. The Great White is now beginning its survey operation, so let's have a look at minerals. So on the Rift Valleys world, we have a ton of neutronium, a ton of corundium, a bunch of corbamite, and a bunch of other resources. Very valuable. We're now surveying the Super Earth, Terra Nova, and that's going to take quite a bit of time, obviously. And Thumbian, Zitomir. What is the Northumberland doing? Yeah, the Northumberland is that guy. Yep, you're fine. So the main failure repairs have been carried out. Capacity upgrade has been reached. Did we reach that actually for that naval yard? Can we start building out some? Yes, we can actually. So I'm going to retool this for the Issei. And we are going to start construction of some new exploration vessels, which will obviously help speed up our processes here. And we are now surveying Terra Nova. Okay. How is the situation in Talos going? We are now 630 days out, and let me have a look at the fuel situation. Fuel situation looks okay. Yeah, we're running out of fuel there. But the Jinsu should refuel from own fleet. I would hope so. But yeah, 600 days transit time. But once they get over there, they can stabilize lag range point and then just zip back and forth without any issue for us at all. Let me head back to Minerva because this is really going to be important what we find here. Okay, we have surveyed. What did we find? We found, okay, not great. Bit of a dud. A lot of resources, not very good accessibility, unfortunately. That's a bit sad. But what can you do? Something like someone did say we should turn Arrakis into like a ground force construction place, which I'm actually all for. But we'll have to obviously wait on that. Luthien, how are your maintenance facilities? Your maintenance facilities aren't there yet. Kareem, you don't have any of your extra stuff there yet either. How are our freighters currently doing? You have your default orders. You're moving infrastructure to Nerox 1, which is Luthien. And you're making sure that that's expanding in terms of its colonial output and population. So, did we discover any resources on there as well? So Terra Nova has these resources. Yes, artifact. We still found nothing in terms of artifact, which is very interesting. We did just finish up with our Ahab, so we got 3 more of those done. I'm going to detach those, and then I'm going to have our tugs begin moving them around. So shipyard fleet 003, we're going to tractor, and then tractor. We're going to release those over into this fleet, head back to Seoul, and then do the exact same thing for the remaining ship accordingly. And then we're going to head back to Seoul and refuel. How is the Northumberland doing, by the way? You're currently in the Sol system from Proxima. Your orders are refueling. Yeah, you're on your return trip. So the Northumberland is returning back home. Probably do want to turn on its active sensors, though. Actives on. And that will obviously allow it to see things as it moves back and forth. Military jump drive on the Great White in Minerva. Why are you having problems, Great White? Okay, you need to head back to Talos. Talos. Yeah, you needed a resupply a long time ago. That's a problem. I need to get a jump tender out here. Get repairs. Move back to the jump point. We'll have to... We can sort this guy out. It's not a problem. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to order a tender. So jump tender group. I'm going to have to detach you. I'm going to order you over to Narox. I'm going to order you to the Talos jump point. You're going to have to go to the Minerva. That's like 160 days. I'm also going to have to move our supply transport, which is on Earth right now. I'm going to have to move you over to Talos. Let's move to Talos. Move to Minerva. It'll take 105 days. We have to get stuff moved over there as quick as possible. What is going on with our Alpha Tanker Fleet 2? Tanker Fleet 2. Not sure why you were having issues there, to be honest. So, yeah, refuel from these guys. Yeah, refuel from stationary tankers every year. And then head to Zitomir. Transfer the fuel. Head back to Alpha. And then do that. Recycle those orders accordingly, please. But yeah, we'll have to go to that jump tender to go save that ship. Great White needs some support right now. That's what it needs. But we're gonna have to wait to get it that support. Continual Grass upgrade just finished. So that's 14,000 tons. I'm gonna assign that up to our new CVE on the Soryu. Yeah, shipyard tasks. Magnetic fusion reactor will be done shortly. What are all our server vessels doing? So Great White's fine. You're fine. You're okay. You are okay. You are in overhaul right now, but you'll be done shortly. Alpha 5, you're mining 10 million liters of fuel. We have Tanker Fleet 2, which just has a single ship in it. And that can carry 4.4 million liters of fuel. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to detach this tanker. I'm going to have you move over to Alpha. I'm going to have you join up with that fleet so that we have enough capacity. All right. Okay, supply transport's on the way to Minerva. We complete research into improved command and control, which is pretty damn useful for us. I'm going to begin putting research into science department. We're going to look at probably getting our next generation survey ships is what I want to be looking at. And in that regard, I'm going to begin building this shipyard up to 20,000 tons. Because we're probably going to need even bigger vessels if we actually want to be safe with our ships as we progress. Because the enemy is going to get worse and worse the more time there is. Supply transport's nearly there. Obviously, we have to wait for the jump tender to reach as well. Okay, tanker has reached. Supply transport is on the way. And yeah, we're still waiting on that. The jellyfish cannot complete orders. Jellyfish, you can begin refuel resupply from Maracas. Head over then to Nerox, and we'll go through the jump point. We'll go have a look at what's in that jump point. Great White is unable to carry outstanding orders. Yeah, I get you. I totally get you. But you're going to need to just do no condition for now and just sit there. We did just finish up training. There is the jump tender. And we can begin assigning these to regiments. So we just had those 2 regiments now sorted out. We're going to need infantry battalions, and we're also going to need more mechanized infantry. So mechanized companies, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do... Okay, there we go. Jump tender is now there. Oh my god, our supply transport doesn't have any supplies. Okay, that's a problem. Resupply from Earth. Then yeah, resupply from Earth. Can we get the Great White out? Yes, you can still go through Talos, go through Nerox, go all the way, go to Zitomir, and then head all the way to Sol, and then do refuel, resupply, begin your overhaul. Okay, there we go. We can get the Great White out of there. Fantastic. Okay, we did just finish up moving infrastructure over to Luthien. We still haven't been able to move over anything else. I'm going to stop the refueling station here, and I'm going to order our ships to do that for us. Delete demand. Let's go over to my infrastructure fleet. What do we have on the planet? A lot of infrastructure, actually. We will load infrastructure on Earth. We will take that over. I mean, we now have the system of Talos available, so we'll hold out for now. I want to get 10 million population on Arrakis. So Arrakis is about 3.36 million people. So I think we'll try and just seed Arrakis to 10 million people. So go to Zitomir. We're going to unload installations, and then we'll head back to Sol, refuel, cycle those orders. So they move 40 infrastructure at a time. So 3, so 30, 29 times. 59 times we'll do this order. That'll take you a long time. And as part of that as well, I will use our colony ships to begin moving over colonists from Earth to Arrakis. Then head back to Sol and then do refuel. Okay, this guy's nearly out of fuel here, so we're just gonna have you stop for now. We're gonna have the tanker detach, and we're then going to have the stabilization group begin refueling from the tanker. Okay, there we go. There we go. It's got 100% fuel, and we're gonna head over to B1 and stabilize that jump point. We're gonna keep the tanker there for now. So that'll take 1,400. So that'll take a year now to reach. We found the system of 432. It is a... Wow, this is an interesting system. It's a binary star system. So this is the first star. Now those are some wacky orbits. Okay, so let's have a look. So first star. 226 asteroids. 2 super Jovians. Or, well, a Jovian and then a Venusian Rift Valley world with a large moon. Second system, we have, okay, second star, we have a lot more interesting. Venusian world, Mountain Nation Methane world, okay. And it's max, it has a perihelion additional cost. We have a Nation Methane world there. We have a Nation Oxygen world with a ridiculously low temperature. Not entirely locked though, a bunch of different worlds. Okay, we're going to rename this system then. We're going to rename this to... let's call this... Let's go with Actum. Actum will be the name of the system. And we will have a search around in it. This brings our number of systems up to 9 now. 4, 8, 9. So we have to be very careful of that fact. Crab requires new orders. We'll make sure you actually resupply. And we're going to head you over to probably Minerva. And we need to make sure we've got maintenance supplies. We do have maintenance supplies available. Industry-wise, we're all going good with our industry. We're increasing our mines, our automated mines, and all that good stuff. And obviously, we're moving over colonists as well. And we'll see what we find here on these asteroids. What is going on here then? Insufficient crew accommodation. Great White should be on the way home, though. Yeah, it's nearly home, which is fantastic news. Let's move that supply transport back to Earth, which is what it is doing. Let me head over back to Talos. Okay, jump stabilization group is still making its way over there now. Okay. Production of construction factories done. What I'm going to do with the remaining capacity is we're going to begin building a sector command. Let's build one of those. Very good. And yeah, stabilization group is continuing on a slow pace over to the Talos system. Supply transport 1 is done on Earth. We're going to begin restarting our maintenance supply production because we are getting low on that. Arrakis is now growing, which is fantastic news. Luthien still doesn't have what it needs. We need to get stuff moved over for that. What are my freighters currently doing? They will be done soon, from what I can tell, and then we can begin moving over what we need. Infantry battalions are training up on Earth. And how is our jump stabilization group 1? How is Taiho doing? Yeah, Taiho's more than fine. We'll be able to reach the lag range point. Shouldn't be an issue. In terms of our fuel capacities there, Arrakis is grabbing a lot of fuel. Can I have a look over on... We may also want to put some fight defenses over at Callisto, to be honest. Can I have a look at what's going on with the fuel harvesters? Alpha fuel harvesters, you're mining with 9.9 million liters of fuel. You are then obviously transporting that fuel over. Though you should have 2 ships in your thing. Not sure why you don't have to not fuel harvesters, tankers. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna order up some more tankers then to be built. Tankers. I would like 2 more to be built, please. Also, we now have the resources. I'm gonna order up another Akagi class carrier to be built. I want probably 4 of them for me to feel comfortable. Okay, and Great White has completed orders, which is good news. Let's head over to Actum. The distance, let's look at the distance. Distance is not that big. We could probably put lag range points as well here, but what a wacky bunch of orbits. If we turn on asteroids, you can kind of see the the asteroid situation, which is what's being surveyed right now. We are surveying all of those asteroids. Okay, freighters are complete orders. So what we're going to do is we're going to get those freighters to then begin moving the maintenance facilities over. So we're going to move 5 maintenance facilities over to Nerox, unload that onto Luthien, head back to Sol, and then refuel accordingly. And then we'll be done. So they will go and make sure they've actually got those maintenance facilities that we need over for that defensive situation. Gravitational survey done in Meridian. We found no other points of interest. So we're going to have you head back to Sol. We're going to have you refuel, resupply, and then we are going to... Actually, no, we don't need to go back to Sol. We can go back to Zitomir, and we can have you refuel, resupply. Will that be a bit too much, actually? Yeah, there's actually less if we just do this. So refuel, resupply. And then we're going to have you head over to Talos, I think. But yeah, we have surveyed this correctly. Let's actually go into the galaxy map and turn on some of the display information. So survey system body, so that's how much we surveyed. Survey locations. Points. Unexplored jump points. Jump survey status. So we still have to survey Nerox, Talos, Axum, Proxima. We got a bunch of other systems we got to actually survey here. Infantry battalion trained, that's good. Sol, what's going on over here? Not much. Production and mine completed on Earth. That's good news. I'm going to order up another ground force construction facility so we can build a regiment at a time because we can't do that right now. We'll have the GNS Blue Whale be done here shortly. Arrakis is growing rapidly, which is good news. We can begin, obviously, mining operations on this world at some point. For now, that's not really a problem for us. I want to move those ground force facilities over eventually. The problem is they're obviously pretty big, so I'm going to order up another 3 freighters to be built. So shipyard fleet 1, 2, 3. No, I don't want colony ships. Oh no. Colony. I do not want colony ships. Because they're split in their terms of their tooling, so you just got to be very careful about that. And let us begin construction of the ankings that I actually wanted, please. We go 1, 2, 3, and then let's begin adding an extra slipway. There we go. Very good. And those will be done on 18. Alright, and we're continuing loading colonists. How is our civilian industry doing, by the way? So we have 170,000 tons, 460,000 tons. These are some pretty big ships. They must be then. Yeah, we have so fuel harvester. We also have large transports that can carry 50,000 tons capacity each. So our civilian industry is actually pretty booming at the moment. Why is our wealth going down significantly? Overall wealth and trade expenditures going up, primarily as a result of ground unit maintenance, purchase of civilian minerals, research, maintenance supply costs. We may need to look at building some financial centers, which is what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to order 50 financial centers at 20% capacity to be built immediately. We're continuing to build fuel harvesters, which will be good. Obviously, the fuel harvesters are going to be spread out. We're going to need fire defenses around Callisto and around these areas. So I need to be getting those freighters back when we can. We now have 5. Oh, we don't have any there yet. What I'll have to do is I'll probably do minerals. Mineral transports, because we need... I forget how much we need for this. So start. The production of this, we're going to need 40, 20, 40. Projected usage 40, 20, 40. So we're going to need that much in reserve. So that's what I will do once we get those supplies over. But I'm going to need freighters for that. So we're going to have to wait for those freighters to actually be built first. Let me head over back to Talos. So we still have that jump stabilization group heading over. 100 days now left on that. And it looks like we just landed those supplies over to Luthien. So we're going to stop that for now, and I'm going to order my supply transport to move over to Luthien. So to Luthien, and you're going to transfer maintenance supplies over. It's a lot of maintenance supplies, but these will be our first like big batch. But what we are going to need is a Condor, and we're going to need a squadron attached to it. So we're going to call this the... What will this be? The 10th Fighter Squadron? We'll call these the Bears. We'll do 10th Fighter Squadron, and we need to detach all of our fighters. So let me go grab our shipyard fleet. We have a ton of fighters available. We have 36. So I'm going to detach... How many is this? We need to detach half. So 18. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18, there we go. And we're going to have you join up with that Condor. You're going to land and join that squadron. And then I'm going to have one of these OBS also join, but not as part of the squadron. So join, land and join specified mothership. There we go. Very good. So now we have this Condor ready to go. So we're going to grab one of our tugs. I'll detach you for now. You are going to grab our Condor. You are going to tractor the Condor. And you're going to then take that over to Nerox. You're going to take that over to Luthien. You're going to release tractored ships. And you're going to head back to Sol. And then you're going to rejoin tugs as needed. There we go. So that'll be on the way there for defensive purposes. And those freighters, once they're back, will also be good. Looks like we're having problems with our maintenance capabilities. Selling orders. You're on Minerva right now. Maintenance supplies less than 20%. I think we'll have to do. The problem is obviously, yeah, that's a bit of a problem for us. Okay, we're gonna have you head back through Talos because there should be a jump tender. Yeah, there is. Head back through Talos and then head to Sol and then begin refuel, resupply, overhaul. How is the Great White doing? You will nearly be done with your overhaul. Okay, and we've nearly reached. We're 10 billion kilometers out of reaching Talos B for our survey purposes. The next Issei class vessel just finished up. We're going to order up another one immediately to be produced. So that'll be the Lamprey. But the Great Blue Whale did just finish up here. So we're going to order the Great Blue Whale. Or the Blue Whale. And I'm going to then have to obviously assign. So we're going to call this the Blue Whale Strike Group. I'm going to then grab fighters and put them in. And I'm going to then assign this to our survey command. There we go. And we're going to have you set up your standing orders. And deployment exceeded. Refuel, resupply. Fuel less than 30%. Refuel a colony. 40%. Let's do 40%. And then we're going to have you go over to... Let's have a look at our galaxy map. Nerox, Talos. Nerox is where we'll have you go over to. Okay, and we're nearly there now with our survey or our stabilization. Taiho only has 18% of its fuel left. I will order up the, where is he? Jinso, to head over to this guy as needed. You move quite a bit faster, obviously. No, not the jump center, not the jump center. Bad. Head over to the jump stabilization group. That's what we need. That'll take you quite a bit of time still, though. 14% fuel available, though we are now only 12 days out, so we should be able to reach the area as needed. There we go, and that'll take 220 days to get that done for us, which is fantastic news. The crab, what are you doing? Yes, you are heading back to Earth. And let me head over to Nerox. We should start to see everything needed. And there is our Condor, by the way. With that Condor, I'm going to then require that be changed up to be renamed to Luthian Fighter Defenses. And we are going to then move that over to the Colonial Defense Command as Luthian Fighter Defenses now. And they are more than capable of being there and having those supplies needed. Arrakis now has 4.3 million people on it. We're going to need a little bit more. We've got a ton of complexes that we have right now. But yeah, there we go. Luthian Fighter Defenses are now done. What is going on with our current freighters? Current freighters are Earth. We're going to have you refuel. Then I'm going to have you load up maintenance facilities. Maximum of 5. Bring those over to Callisto. And then refuel from Earth. Alright. We still haven't found another jump point yet, which is pretty surprising. Indeed. Okay, 2 Jinsu class vessels just finished up on Shipyard Fleet 1. I'm going to detach both of those, and I'm going to then have them... No, I don't want to detach the Mount Fuji. The Mount Fuji can stay where the Mount Fuji wants to stay. You're going to head over to Alpha. You're going to join up with Tanker Fleet 2. It'll take you 85 days. Okay. No shortage in maintenance production at Callisto. Yep, that would happen. We're going to stop your production for now, and I'm going to have the supply fleet move over that stuff. So let me go over to supply transport. So you're going to resupply from Colony. You're going to transport that over to Callisto, and then I'm going to refuel from Earth. I'm going to move over another Condor then. We only have 15 free fighter F2s though, so I'm going to order up another 21 F2s. No, I can't do it there. 21 F2 fighters to be constructed. Very good. And once we have enough of those, we can start to do some stuff around that. Fighters now finished up on moving that stuff around. We're going to start moving refueling stations now. So we have a refueling station available. We're going to do maximum items of 0.5. Load. We're going to send that over to Alpha. We're going to unload that onto this colony. And then we're going to head over to Earth. And we're going to refuel. We're going to repeat this once. There we go. We are finishing up ground survey of this area as well now. Crab has insufficient crew accommodation. I'm pretty sure you're heading back though, so that's not an issue. Yeah, no issue at all. Ship Fleet 004. Okay, Tanker Fleet 2 should now have 3 Jinsos in it. Yeah, good. So they'll be transferring their fuel back and forth as needed. We have 2 Ahabs in here, which I'm going to detach, and I'm going to have moved over. We need to refuel first. Grab these 2 tankers. Well, not tankers, but fuel harvesters. Move them over to Alpha, and then release accordingly. Head back to Sol, and then refuel. Okay, how many F2s do we have available? 19. So what we will do is we will grab these, attach them. There we go. And I'm going to have to attach another Condor. And I'm going to create another 11th fighter squadron. And we're going to then move over all of our fighters. And then I'm also going to move over an observer. So we're going to detach you. You're going to join up with Condor, land, and assign. Okay. And then we will get that moved over once the tankers are done. Insufficient crew capacity. Tayo only is 13%. How is that going, by the way, in Talos? So 146 days now. Supply transport 1 completed orders. So Luthien now has that sort of. Now we now have Kareem and Arrakis. So we now have warfighter defenses above our major extrasolar colonies. We're also going to have them above Callisto. And that will obviously be for protection purposes. Now, the one thing that I do want to consider the fact is that we're going to have to defend our fuel harvesters. And to do that, we're going to probably need some kind of deep space defensive situation. So let me have a look at our commercial shipyards. We don't really have a commercial shipyard available. So we'll have to wait before we have any action on that. 3 more freighters should be finishing up here. There we go. And I'm going to order up another 3 more freighters to be constructed as well. Freighters. There we go. Begin construction. I'm going to do normal freighters. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And those will be done on January 19th. We'll grab the current freighters that are within our shipyard here. I'll detach those, and I'm going to assign them to join this freighter task group. No, do I really want to do that? No. We'll have them join up with... I'll just call them freighters 2. And I will put them under logistics. And then I will use them to move... installations as needed. These space tracking stations is definitely something I'm interested in moving around. We're going to move max of 1, and I'm going to move 1 to every colony. So move you over on load installations. Back to Sol. Load. No, what we can do is much more efficient is we just load 3 of them. We then go to Alpha. We unload 1 of them, and then we go to Zitomir. We unload 1. And then we go to Nerox and we unload 1 as well. Then we head back to Sol and we refuel. There we go. And the Northumberland is going back and forth right now, which is good. Okay, tugs completed orders. We're going to have to now do the same thing we did with that tug previously. Grab this Condor, track to the Condor, and move that over to Callisto. Then head back to the tugs and begin joining that fleet once more. Okay, that is completed. So now that Condor should be above Callisto, we're going to rename this to Callisto Fighter Defenses. There we go. And we're going to assign that all the way up to the Colonial Defenses. There we go. So we have Callisto, Arrakis, Alpha, Earth Fighter Defenses, and Luthien Fighter Defenses. So we've got a metric crap ton of fighters stationed everywhere. All right. Fighters completed orders, which is good news. I'm going to detach one of these fighters, and I'm going to rename this to Mineral Transport. Okay, and we're going to try and refocus our maintenance facilities to be a little bit better for what I need. So let's assume we start production. We're going to need 40, 20, 40, okay, to maintain. So I'm going to set a reserve level of 200, 200, and 200. I'm going to do the same for this. So we don't need as much. We'll just set 100 for this. We will do the same across all of our colonies. So Galisite, stockpile 200, Iridium 100, and Uranium 200. And we will also do the same on Callisto. 200. Though we're producing 200 Iridium, so we don't even need to do that here. We just get the Iridium anyway. And then 200 Uranium. And I will then order this freighter every single year. You are going to load. You're going to load. So we're going to need 5 colonies. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 colonies. So we're going to need 800 of each, basically. So 800 uranium. Oh, no. Mineral type uranium, 800. We'll do this every single year. Yep. Every single year, you're going to load. Oh, that's incorrect. Remove last. Load minerals, uranium. One more one more zero on that. Oh. God, this is dumb. I'll probably cut this out. No, I want to load mineral. I want to do this. Yes, thank you very much. Okay. Load that. Then we're going to load galacite. And then we're going to load 400 tons of iridium. And then we are going to begin moving. So unload minerals to reserve level on Callisto. Go to Alpha. Unload minerals to reserve level. Go to Zitomir. Unload minerals to reserve level. And then go to not Alpha. Go to Nerox and do the exact same thing. And then head back to Sol and refuel. Cycle those orders. That should work out for us every year. We're going to obviously keep the industry off for now, and they'll just use their stockpiles as needed. But yeah. Okay, let's continue on incrementing. And we're just continuing our survey efforts, really. Okay, we complete research into magnetic mirror fusion drive. So we're now going to research into ion drive technology, which is going to take us quite a bit of time, about 5 years, to finally actually research that. Okay, and we complete construction of ground force construction complexes, which is good news. I'm going to, with this industry, actually start building up some deep space tracking stations. 10 deep space tracking stations at 25%. Okay, Arrakis is now at 5.3 million people. And that means it can support quite a significant population of people, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab freighters number 2, which is doing... Okay, that'll be done shortly. Freighters 1's not doing a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to grab how many mines can we support there. We can support 3 million workers, which is 60 mines-ish. So we're going to send over 55 mines. We can move 5 mines at a time. So that means that we need to do this 11 times. So we are going to load mines. We are then going to bring load mines here, head over to Zitomir, head over to Arrakis, unload mines on Arrakis, head back to Earth, begin refueling, and we're going to do this 10 times total, repeat 10 times. Now, Arrakis has no verandorite, unfortunately, on it, but it does have various other resources which we can make use of. And we're going to load those mines, and then we'll ship the resources back as needed. But yeah, we'll get those freighters moving and on the way there. Talos B1 did just finish up its jump stabilization Lagrange point, which is fantastic news. And this means that with our jump stabilization group, we can move them in between. So I'm going to start an immediate colony. On Talos B3. Create colony. And I'm going to order our fighters to begin moving over infrastructure as needed over there. Oh, we're still a bit busy, aren't we? Okay, my concern obviously is going to become that if we have stuff out here without any protection, it's going to cause us problems. So we need a colony really here for that maintenance protection area. We'll also probably want to move more stuff over to Arrakis and a bunch of other things to consider. Okay, we did get that refueling station over on Kareem, which is fantastic news. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to order these guys to not transfer their fuel to there, but instead transfer to Kareem and then keep in the system, essentially. So not that big of a problem for us. F-32, Jellyfish exceeded deployment time, so that should now head back. Standing orders, deployment exceeded. They should now begin heading back. Logistics command, mechanized company. We trained up a reserve. And we have to actually move those reserves over. So we have all these reserves. Let's show mount, show elements. And we're going to then drag these into war stock. So 600. like this. And then we just delete the formation. And then we just keep doing the exact same thing here to ensure that we always have this war stock available to us as needed. In appropriate quantities to replace about 33% of our losses, or 25% at worst, in case of any actual war. Okay, and we will then delete these formations. Well, they delete themselves, apparently. So now we have a war stock with 111,000 tons of ground forces actually in it, which is fantastic news, obviously. Construction of F2 is completed on Earth, which is good. Yeah, we're continuing to survey in these systems. Minerva is going to require, obviously, a jump stabilization group to do that, but we're currently waiting for the tanker to arrive. And the tanker is actually arriving, which is good news. So I'm going to have my jump stabilization group 1. Where are you? Naval Command, Naval Logistics, jump stabilization 1. You are going to refuel from the tanker. You're then going to head back to and stabilize Minerva. Yeah, so stabilization group complete orders, and now all it can do is begin moving over to stabilize the Minerva jump point. And that'll only take 13 days from the 60 billion kilometers down to 2 billion kilometers. And I'm going to have this tanker now head back to Sol and begin immediate refuel resupply as needed. But yeah, no, that is how easy it is now. We can just move in between these as required, which is fantastic news for everyone involved, and I'm very, very happy about it. Did you not get your fuel? No, you did not get your fuel. Tanker, move back to Talos fleets. Go to the jump stabilization group. Yep. You know, just increment along here. Completed orders. And jump stabilization group 1, you can then begin refueling from that as needed once you've stabilized that jump point end. But now we can actually geosurvey this part, which is going to be very, very useful. We'll actually have a look at what we have in Talos. So we disabled B1, that's got some sodium on it. And now we're surveying B2. B3 is the planet we want to colonize. More infantry reserves we just finished up. Freight is 2 completed orders, which is good news. We're going to have them then begin loading up infrastructure and then shipping that over to Talos and shipping that over to this colony. And Sol, refuel, and then cycle those moves. And we found resources on Talos. Talos B2, we have ton of uranium, corbomite, thorium, magnesium. Yeah, corbomite and uranium primarily on Talos B2. And that is obviously the world with a hell of a lot of power healing cost on this is pretty significant. But that is the world with 2.0 colony cost. It's much smaller though, but it has quite a few resources on it, which is obviously quite attractive. 3 and Kings completed. I'm not sure why they went into the first carrier group. That is a big mistake. Attach those and then have them join up. I'll move them over to Logistics Command and we'll sort them out next episode, I think. Let's just continue our survey efforts over here on Talos B3 and then I'll end the episode off from that point. Ahab 2, finished construction. Yeah, pretty fast orbits on these, so you got to keep that in mind. Gas core repairs have been carried out. Production of infrastructure completed. And survey. What have we found on Talos? Not much. Not much indeed. So this is a pretty empty world, but there is thorium here as well, which is really, really nice. All right, we're going to end the episode off. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We have not hit the raiders yet. One more system and we will do so. The countdown is on the way. And we'll be very interested to see how we hold up. But we've made some great strides in colonization. Arrakis has grown. Many other places have grown. And we are also now establishing our defenses further and further out and beginning to survey further and further out, which is obviously something that we want to be doing. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Please don't like, comment, subscribe, and consider becoming a member as well. Goodbye.